everybody, we are here with Corey Taylor of Slipknot Stone Sour fame, and now released his first solo album, CMFT. Corey, welcome to Montreal Rocks.
Thanks for having me, man.
Excellent, good to have you. My first question for you, maybe a little bit of a silly one, but can CMFT actually be stopped?
Well, I mean, it depends. You know, it depends on how fast the car's going. Depends on how hard they're swinging the bat at my face. Yeah, probably can be stopped. I mean, the thing is, like, that the whole song is just kind of poking fun at the persona that has been built around me over the years by fans, by people who don't like me very much. It's kind of funny. So it's like, so that's me kind of embracing that whole sense of bravado and just in your face kind of attitude, and just being like, well, you know what, you guys are the ones who created this, so you should blame yourselves, you know. And because of that, I don't think it ever will be stopped, man. You know, it's going on 20 plus years now, so I mean, I must be doing something right.
Well, I think when the single first dropped, a lot of fans were surprised by the kind of feel of it and the rap. And listening to the rest of the album, there's kind of a more traditional Corey Taylor, Stone Sour kind of feel to it. Is there more that you have? Like, obviously you went out of your comfort zone. Is there other things you would like to try like that in the future, or is there more?
I'm just, you know, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm working on. I've got a funk tune that I'm working on for CMF2. Okay. I've got, I mean, my love, like the stuff that I like writing is really in that punk kind of hard rock vein. So it's definitely going to always have that stuff, you know. But I mean, there's still some hardcore stuff that I'm writing, and more tongue-in-cheek stuff. You know, CMFT Must Be Stopped was really just me kind of tipping my hat to like 80s rap rock, you know, like the Rick Rubin stuff. And it wasn't even supposed to necessarily be a single, you know, like Black Eyes Blue was always going to be the single. And the label loved CMFT so much that they wanted to put it out at the same time. And I just went, all right. So we just had fun with it, you know, and just kind of embraced it. So that's really more of a one-off, you know, like it was just me basically saying, I'm going to try this and have fun with it. You know, like this isn't necessarily the direction, but you know, this is me just kind of, you know, setting the tone for, like, basically when you buy one of my solo albums, you'll never really know what to expect, you know?
Speaking of that song is your second collaboration with Tech Nine, and obviously
third. Yeah, man. Yeah, because he put one out just on his last project called Bitch Slap that actually has Hopsin on it, and like, yeah, it's pretty dope. So,
is there part of that, like, obviously you're a very accomplished musician and you're comfortable in your genre and your milieu. Is there part of that that's kind of like a challenge? Like, I'm gonna go on a rap tune with Tech Nine, who is such a technical rapper, and so like, is there kind of a feeling of like challenge to that, or?
Oh, always. You know, if you're not challenging yourself, then you're just playing it safe. You know, and for me, I knew that as a friend of Tex, I wanted him to be on a tune. You know, him and Kid Bookie, and they're both so good and so technical that I knew that I would. The only way to hold up my own was just to kind of do my own thing, you know? So, yeah, I mean, if you're not challenging yourself, you're not breaking any new ground, you know? If you're not pushing the boundaries, then you're stuck in this little batter's box, you know? Whereas if you push the boundaries further and further and further, you develop this whole, you know, like just a handful of acres that you can play around with musically, you know? And that, to me, that's the exciting part, is really setting the bar and then trying to exceed it.
Is there anybody else that you haven't been able to work with that you would love to work with, like collaboration-wise?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of cool people. when it comes to like hip hop and stuff, obviously I've always wanted to work with M. Um, I would love to do something with City Morgue and just get greasy and gnarly with those guys. Like on the other side though, I would love to do something with Trent Reznor. I would love to do something with him. You know, I just, I mean, at this point, it all kind of comes down to what I get excited about. You know, like if there's music that they have, or if I have something that I'm hearing, then I get stoked about it, and I kind of go from there. But I never know until the moment, you know.
And this album, you have a collaborator that's not vocal, but you seem to have done a lot with WWE. They produced the belt that I think is actually right.
No, I made this.
Oh, really? I read that it was actually made by WWE.
Nope, I made this. I actually had this made before I even knew that it was going to be the cover for the album. I had this made because I was just going to put it up in my house. I'm that guy, you know. Like I love wrestling, I love all that stuff, and I was like, you know what? I need a championship belt with my name on it because I'm that asshole, you know. So I had this made, and then I was looking at it, I was like, this would be great for the cover of the album, you know. They actually were pretty. They had a big hand in making the little belts that we were able to give out to a lot of the fans, a lot of the people who've worked the album. So they did that, but I actually had this made by a company just online, man. I looked it up and I just had it created, and then it showed up. So I guess that partnership kind of came about naturally. I know you're a big fan, but yeah.
Who reached out to who on that?
You know, it's crazy. We've had this kind of mutual back and forth going on for a while. I honestly, ever since Slipknot hooked up and did a bunch of stuff with NXT, you know. And then when it came time to do this, we were looking to try and do something. I was actually looking to do a work with them, and then COVID hit, and it just kind of put the kibosh on me actually traveling down like and doing like a storyline thing. But then we continued talking, and H was really the one who was like, you know, let's do something together for like NXT. You know, that's how Culture Head became the theme song for the Takeover. That's also how like we decided to do, since his favorite band is Motorhead, we did this cool version of Ace of Spades and just gave it to him to put up on his socials. Nice. And yeah, he was totally into it. So they've been really, really helpful, man. They helped us kind of push things over the top, because you know how it is. I mean, these days rock only gets as much love as the fans give it. So for us, it's important to kind of use every avenue and every window at our disposal to try and get the word out about stuff, you know? So obviously you did the show at the Forum about a week ago now, and yeah, it wasn't your average COVID, like, let's play in a basement show. You went out and put out a full production, rented out the LA Forum for that. I'm guessing that stage production was put together in the idea that eventually a full tour will come for this, or that. Yeah, man. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when we decided to do the live stream, I was like, I don't want to do anything that anybody else is doing. You know, like I want to go into a real venue, one that I've played before, one that I've always wanted to do something special in. I want to do full pyro. I want to do full production. Like I want to go big, you know? And the reaction was fantastic, man. Everybody and their mom loved it, you know? So it was special, man. I've never played a show like that using my originals before. You know, I've done cover shows like that, like all over the place, and we've had a blast, but this was the first time really putting together something with a full band, with my full band, and touching on things that I've written over my career by Slipknot, by Stone Sour, a bunch of covers that we wanted to play, and then all like the entire album, man. And we played almost 2 hours, and it was rad.
So I've got to ask this song. You just mentioned your cover shows. You did your acoustic, which were amazing. And And I have to ask for my son's sake, and I think it's become kind of a cult phenomenon online.
You're gonna ask about SpongeBob, aren't you?
Is there any chance we get a hidden track at the end of the SpongeBob on CMFT 2, or?
Oh man, you know the funny thing is, it's almost like a double-edged sword these days. Like it drives me nuts that it's one of the most requested songs at like my acoustic shows, and yet the whole reason I learned that song was so me and my son could connect on music, you know. So I have a hard time saying no to stuff like that, man. I'm just like, you know, I've thrown it in the set like a handful of times, even when it wasn't there. I've done it for, I did a version of it for this online critic called the Nostalgia Critic. I did, you know, I keep wondering whether or not I should do like a full band version, you know, and just trip people out, you know. So I don't know. You can never say never. But it's yeah, it's very funny. Let's put it that way.
It's become a kind of a online cult thing.
I know. It's so weird.
And I mean, I listened to it with my son, and he loved it. He thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and that right there, man, like that's the cool enough reason for me to actually do it, you know, because I love bringing, you know, like people together with their kids.
There's been a lot of sensational journalism, I think, going on around some of the comments you've made, and like surrounding Slipknot and oh, well, you know, do you care to address any of that? Or
it's ridiculous, you know. I mean, it's just as bad when it comes to musicians and things that they say that are taken out of context as it is in the political world, you know. I mean, we see it all the time. It's the media certain parts of the media, I shouldn't say all media, certain parts of the media trying to twist and turn and keep the chaos at a constant 10, you know, and then people wonder why, then people in the media wonder why people are so quick to not only dismiss what they say, but to completely just like attack them, you know. It's like the minute we started not only manipulating our media, but also treating opinion as a story, that's when the real idea of current news became something that is sadly a bygone era. Once we allowed certain laws to be passed that deregulated things like that kept those laws in check, we were doomed to get right here, you know, like current affair begat TMZ, begat social media, and now it is a whirlwind of did you hear abouts, you know. And that, to me, that's the saddest thing, you know. And the thing I'll say is, like, unless you hear me say it in context, then I would dismiss everything there is to say about it, because they are just trying to wind people up. My band knows how I feel about them, and you know, if they don't, all they have to do is call me, and they do. And my band and I have a great communication.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. Very much appreciate it. Looking forward to whatever comes next. Hopefully some live shows at some point in the...
Dude, yeah, you're not kidding. I'm counting the days for that to happen, dude.
Whether it be Slipknot, Stone Sour, CMFT, at this point, I would take anything as a live show.
Right.
So thank you very much for joining us, and may the force be with you.
You too, man. All right, brother. Have fun with your son, all right?
I will, thank you.
The thing I love about that poster is if you look, like, not only is it revenge, but it's also the lightsabers are switched.
Okay.
Vader has the blue and Luke has the red.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, right? All the ones that I have are like rare. Like that is one of the original one sheets that they did before the movie actually even came out, before anybody knew it. It's signed by David Prowse.
That is amazing.
And then this is actually a British early print that has, if you, I don't know if you can see the logo itself. When they did the real batch, the logo was in black, but the lettering was in white. So this is like super rare.
Wow. Yeah, that is reverse. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty rad, right?